Hi everyone, welcome back to Box Delights and welcome to this Cloudspire playthrough. We're playing through the Grovetenders Scenario 1. It's Neurora's turn and they're going to move their minions. The mercenary nomad is going to move first with a move of 4. Remember, she can move through forests and plains, so she's going to move 1, 2. Now there's a fork in the road. She can move this way down the path, which seems to be the shortest route to her target, our fortress, but AI minions have modified movement rules. Their priority is to use the full extent of their movement whilst making as much progress towards their mark as possible. So actually she's going to go this way, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, because she's used all her movement. So that's the route she'll choose, which is interesting because that means our Warbriar can march on by. And the Nomad's going to fall foul of Sibessa and possibly Daiwan. We might have to pick her off as she gets close. That's good. That's good. Okay, now the Conduit's going to move 2, 1, 2. Nice and straightforward. We don't have any spires to fire back to us. The Warbriar is moving ever forward, 2 spots. Daiwan I'm going to leave here, still out of range of this monolith. Warbriar is in range of this monolith. Spires now fire. Now at this point I want to introduce the miniatures because we have them, why not use them? They create quite a presence here on the map. They are an optional expansion. If you check my unboxing video you'll see them there. Now these are the Neurora spires and we've got 2 monoliths. Let's get these down and show you what they look like on the map. The spire goes on the top and the stats underneath. They create quite an impression, right? Now these spires have some table presence. You can see at a glance the difference between spires and units. Right, let's have this monolith spire. So it's still got 1 attack, we're still in range. There's a good chance our Warbriar is going to get defeated. I don't know if the dice gods can stick with us for too long. Yeah, there we go, 1 damage. Okay, that removes the last health from our Warbriar. In grouped units, the last health is removed, the unit's removed, the next unit down is revealed, and with this 3 health, it's back to full power. This one goes back to our barracks, okay? Defeated minions, back to your barracks. And they'll live to fight another day. Attacking now. Daiwan's going to do another hit on the goat. I really do want to move Daiwan up to tackle this spire, but we want to hit this goat first, and I'll show you why when we get there. This grouped Warbriar does get to attack. It wouldn't get to retaliate if it was defeated by an enemy minion, okay? But it does get to continue to turn from where we left off. So this thing can attack now. But as we saw last time, the only valid target is the spire, and this spire is fortified. So our 1 attack does nothing. So let's push on. Nomad is going to move next. And this is bad news for the Nomad. It's got 4 movement and it's going to move past Sibessa. Every time it does, it's going to lose a health. So 1, 2, 3, and yep, this thing is defeated. We don't get to claim the source as a reward though, because it wasn't us that defeated it. So goodbye Nomad, and it failed to reach our fortress. This thing's working in our favour. Obviously it's going to hurt us next wave if we don't defeat it when our minions start to come out. Conduit on 2. Still not in contact with my minions, but now back to us. Let's have Warbriar move first. Now Warbriar, with its 2 movement, has its path blocked. So 1, and it can't move any further. But it does have the Impale talent. Impale says when it ends its movement, it does 1 damage to every adjacent enemy. So Conduit's going to take 1 damage. This isn't an attack, so there's no retaliation here. Spires fire, so the Warbriar now is still in range of this monolith. And yeah, it's going to take 1 hit. And that's probably going to do it for the Warbriar, because now we get to do our attacks, and for minions this is mandatory. You can't choose not to. So 1 damage to Conduit, and Conduit will retaliate with its 2 attack, defeating the Warbriar. No source reward for the enemy because they don't use source. Warbriar goes back to our barracks, so it could be deployed or summoned on a later turn. Now Daiwen gets to attack, and she's going to finish off the Grail Goats with a 1 attack at 2 range, which means we get to claim the 5 source reward. This little icon here, if you're interested, this just tells us from the Portal Seekers expansion. We clock up the 5 source on our source tracker here on the fortress. That's going to come in very helpful next time. Grovetenders like their source. It's what we need to use the summon talent. Now there's one benefit for a hero dealing the killing blow to an enemy unit, and that is they get to level up. Daiwen has a single blue dot here. You can spot heroes because they're the only ones that have these blue dots. This blue dot says we can take 1 upgrade when we level up. Like Spires, we can upgrade with range, fortification or attack. Only ranged units can take range upgrades. Daiwen she's 2 range, so we could push her up to 3 range. Fortifications, they work differently on units. They just act as a 1 health buffer. It's not like what we see with Spires, where it means you need at least 2 attack to get rid of it. For a hero, it's just like an extra piece of health. It's like a little health buffer. Okay, 1 attack will remove it. What I think I'm going to do is actually boost Daiwen's attack strength. If we want to go knocking down Spires, we're going to need at least 2 attack to get through those defences. That ends my turn. Sebessa's doing a great job for us, and Daiwen can get out this way. The downside is I really want to go for this spire, and Sebessa's going to defeat Daiwen before we get around there. So yeah, I've got a decision to make really. Do I try and take Sebessa out or head this way? Yeah, and now we've got some source as well to spend, and an open source well. So lots of decisions coming up. Let's move Conduit and think about what we want to do. Sebessa's going to take out the Conduit when it moves 1, 2 like this. If I move 1, 2, I'm going to come under 1 attack. Sebessa will move in here, and I really want to go 1, 2 and impale this monolith to take out its attack, but I won't be able to because Conduit will be in the way. The other thing to note, of course, is as soon as Conduit goes, that's the last minion, the wave will immediately end. So do I stay here, or do I try and just move up 1 spot? Next time the spires get an additional range, so 1, 2, 3, this space is going to be in range, but if I just move in there, at least then this thing's in range of my attack. But I'm just thinking, I've got a source well, and I've got 5 source on the clock. There is a way to grab the source from Conduit and get a little refund from that. Twice per onslaught phase, so before the end of the wave, we can take a special build action. There's 2 little holes at the bottom of your fortress. You can't see them well, but there's 1 here and 1 here. Twice per onslaught phase, you can take a special build action. And the special build is to upgrade or construct a spire. So I'm wondering whether with a 1 range spire, I might take out Conduit before it moves in here. With something like a retool. Let's do it, shall we? Let's just see what happens. So spend 5 source, that takes me back down to 0. This retool comes in with 1 attack and 1 range. You can choose how you construct a spire. So I'm going to put the attack on top and the range underneath, because upgrades get removed from the bottom upwards. So a spire without any attack is no good to anybody. Now obviously we can't get through this way with die one now will have to go around the path, so I'm going to use my 2 range attack. I'm out of range of her spires, by the way, so I don't need to do spires fire. With my 2 attack now, we're going to take 2 away from Sibessa. I have to get rid of this thing, despite how useful it is. Now when Conduit moves, I get an attack with my 1 range. I get an attack on Conduit, and if I get a hit, that means I will claim the source reward before she dies automatically moving through here. Okay, anything but a blank. Alright, we're good. So we will claim that 3 source reward. And that will immediately end the wave as well. Back up to 3 source. So we were on 5, we've got 3. That's alright. Now we head into wave 2. We'll remove this little peg because we're going to have a fresh onslaught phase, a fresh 2 special builds. We're going to roll the event die. Neuroran units will use the North Path, 0 income, and they're going to purchase a Merc minion. Alright, let's roll that event die. See what happens. It's a 4, which says draw from the market stack until you reveal a Merc hero or minion, and we add that to the top of the stack. So once more we're looking for a minion. Oh, that's equipment, and a minion. A portal hopper. Okie doke. Income phase, no source. Market phase. We refresh this tile. They'll purchase a Merc minion. There aren't any to purchase. They're all heroes, so no purchase for Nerora. Then it says add a range upgrade to all Neuroran spires. New upgrades must be placed on the bottom. So that's interesting. I was kind of hoping to take off those fortifications first. Never mind. Do we want to buy anything? We've got 3 source. My goodness, so many choices, so many choices. Forming Glade level 2 is tempting. It allows me to, it's called Elaborate Form. I'll be able to summon stronger creatures. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I think I need to build up. So I'm going to go for Sacred Grove. It costs 3. It's called a tuning. And it says once per wave during the prep phase, you may exchange 1 CP for 4 source. And that's because I'm going to go Warbriar again this time and try and do something about these spires. It's tough. This is a tough scenario. It's not that easy. I do want to try and get down as quickly as possible. That's the thing. But we'll see. I don't know if... I just want to clear a path. Incidentally, one other option was Earthscaping. That costs 2 source. Basically, I'm down on 0, by the way. I need to clock that down. Earthscaping's great. So if I wanted to, I could have done something like this, you see, and then blocked this little route around for anything that can forest walk. I don't think I can block things off. Well, yeah, I could have done something like this, maybe, and made, yeah, force things. No, I'm blocking the path still. Yeah, you can't block off paths, that's the thing. Now you might say, well, there's 2 paths back to the fortress, but there's a little errata for this scenario. You can't block either the north path or the south path. They have to be clear. It has to be a clear route on the north and the south. Okay, but you can alter the route. So maybe something like this would work, right? Make that route happen. As it goes, you can only terraform on tiles over which you have influence. That's too far, but I have influence now over these 2 because I've got a spire here. So I could terraform here, or Earthscape, I should say. I keep saying terraform. Earthscape. You can't Earthscape on top of things. But yeah, potentially I could make them go the long way round and put an open source well up there as well for another spire. Yeah, it's not a bad idea actually. But no, we're not going to do that just yet. Move into the prep phase. So they get the conduit and conduit grouped together, and then the Merc that they purchased in the market phase, which they don't have, right? They do, however, have the one from the event phase, which is just going to go on top. This Merc's only got 1 health, but it does have incorporeal trait, which says only adjacent spires and units can damage this thing. And it can move through other units, stealing their source as it does so. So we really want to knock that thing out quickly. It's got 5 movement. We've got 5 CP this time. Diamond's properly trapped in here by my spire, so I need to hit one of his monoliths. So I have to take a Treed for 3 source, and then I'm going to take a Warbriar for 2. So I can't use my new fortification upgrade just yet. So I think I'll have the Warbriar come out first. I mean, the other plan was 2 Warbriars, use my fortress upgrade, which is what I was thinking, to grab some source. But yeah, that's not going to work this time. Onslaught phase. Portal Hopper is moving 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're taking the north path this time. For me, at the start of the Onslaught phase, I can't use the Forming Glade. Diamond's not in a forest. Now we move, and there's an interesting little conundrum here, which I wanted to show you. If the Warbriar moves out onto a spot occupied by a hero, it displaces the hero, takes that position, and the hero moves where the minion was. What's interesting here is that we've displaced Daiwen back into the fortress, and that acts just like a retreat into a fortress. Daiwen is unavailable for the rest of the phase and goes back to barracks. So we do need to think carefully about how we're going to move things out here, and I think I need to reverse these and have Treed come out first, because because we're not going to get out, we're not going to be able to take down one of these spires in time. I still think Daiwen's in trouble as it goes. Let's move. Daiwen moves back. Treed comes out, takes 1 damage from Sebessa. Warbriar comes out. Now Spire's Spire. The monolith's going to go after a hero it can defeat, which is Daiwen, because 2 damage will be enough to defeat Daiwen. Maybe I should have taken a health upgrade. Wow. It's 1 damage. The North monolith can't take out either of these, and can't reach Daiwen. So it's up to us to decide which one we want it to go for. So let's say it's going to go for Treed. 1 damage. Okay, now we attack. Treed attacks and takes out Sebessa, giving us 4 source reward. Okay, we're back up to 4 source. I feel like I've really messed up Daiwen. Still, I'm 3, 4, 5. I'm putting myself in these tight spots just to show you how this game plays, right? That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. 1, 2. They've moved. Portal Hopper's still a long way out of range. We'll be in range next time and adjacent to my spire, which means we might be able to take it out. Just before we move, I'm going to take one of my special builds. The retool has 3 spots for upgrades. 2 are currently occupied, so we can put another upgrade chip on here, and it's going to cost 3 source. 3 because it's the 3rd. So source down to 1, and we'll pop one of our 2 pegs in here. So we've taken one of our 2 special build actions. And I'm actually going to add another attack on here. Range might have been good. I thought about a fortified to protect it, but I think if units are going to get close to this, then they're going to go after my fortress anyway. But yeah, strength 2 attack I think is good. We're going attack. This is the critical part for me, because we're going to move Treed in. Now the Warbriar. We've got a choice here. That's 1. We can go north or south with our 2nd. South means we could travel down the path, explore some landmarks. North is going to be the more interesting route for teaching you the rules as we interact with these minions. So I think we're going to go north. Diamond's not moving, we're just going to stay here for the time being. I don't want to fall foul of this other monument, though I do think Diamond's days are numbered as it goes. Remember I said every time you play this scenario, it's going to play the same. This is the same scenario, but there are little changes that really do influence how the scenario plays out. These market phases and the event phase add enough variability that you can't quite predict what sort of thing's going to happen. Your aim really is to learn from me here and develop a much better strategy. Do you know what? I think Diamond should return to Fortress. She's not doing anything here. She can't get out until this monolith's done, because with 1 health, it's just easy pickings. So, Diamond is placed beside the barracks, returns to full health, so back to 2 health. Now Spire's Fire. This one is going to go for Treed because it can be taken out with a single hit. So I think what we'll do is actually do the north one first on the Warbriar. That's 1 attack. 1 damage, down to 2, which means now these are both equal targets, because this model can also target the Warbriar and defeat it with a single die. So this one's going to go for the Warbriar as well. Our choice. Another 1 damage. Okay. Now we can attack. And Treed has got 1 attack on the monoliths with Ram, and Ram says we can remove an attack upgrade, even if it's not the bottom upgrade. So that's coming off, and we've disabled this monolith now. I like how things are going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Portal Hopper has hopped over the Warbriar and sapped 1 source for doing so. And the Conduit group slowly marches on. Spire's Fire, now we can take this thing out. So we've got 2 attack dice. And we're going to take this thing out before it can hit our fortress. Yeah, no problem. Rewarding us with 2 source. Back up to 2. Interesting now. Treed marches on, 1, 2. Warbriar marches on, 1, 2. It's kind of a shame we're not going to survive this Spire's Fire round, because there's a landmark here that we might have explored. So this monolith's firing on this Warbriar. And yeah, it's out of here. You did your job. You acted as a little distraction to let the Treed do its thing. This monolith can't fire, it's got no attack. So now the Treed is still here. So we're going to attack the Spire and remove that 1 range that it had. Shame we couldn't do this quickly enough to save Darwin. I think the Conduit's going to start causing some trouble pretty soon. So things are just going to keep marching. We can explore here. A source geyser with a fountain. Happy to uncover that. Conduit moves on. Fountain recovers adjacent units' health by 2. And then we move on. Conduit's now in range of our retool, so Spires will fire. It's 2 attack, I'm hoping for something good. And of course then it will start attacking me. Wow, 3 damage. This much I like. That takes out the top one and gives me 3 source. That's on 5, which gives us a few more options now. Now they get to attack, and with 2 damage, they're taking out this 1 attack. That Conduit's going to be doing some damage for a little bit longer. Treed's coming in here. Now finally we get to reveal the rogue Grizzled Oak. It gets its 6 health, and we have to defeat it, but once it's defeated it's not removed from play. Instead it's treated as an item that we can carry by a hero. So let's leave that there for now. We're going to attack it for 1. It's going to attack us back for 2. Conduit now. Notice I'm still not building here. I'm not ready. I don't need another spire. I want to save my source because I want to get some units summoned next time. Now that we've got the oak out, my mission is to just get units down there to try and take that thing out. Or they're probably going to go to North Par. Right, conduit moves. Retool attacks with 1. 2 damage. I like. He's going to hit my fortress now for 2 attack. That I don't like. Fortress will retaliate for 1 and that defeats conduit and we get the 3 source reward back up to 8. Tree's moving on. We can choose to either hit the fortress for 1, take 1 retaliation, hit again, retaliate, get 2, or we could hit the grizzled oak for 1 more, which will kill tree. I think we're going to do that. Retaliation, we'll take it out. And that will end the wave. Join me next time.